Limited, quality print, prompt delivery, and Phoenix Studios. On that note, welcome everybody on this week's episode of Spill the Tea. As usual, my name is Queen Nita. On today's episode, we're going to look at emotional neglect and how it affects us. What are some of the causative factors of emotional neglect? How are we able to identify if someone is a victim or if someone is a perpetrator of emotional neglect? And with me today in the studio to help with the discussion is, as always, Della.
Yes, yes. I told you, always is a paddle.
Yes, and Legacy, I think, now loves being on my set.
Very
she
much,
just
very
loves
much.
being on my set, and so I've repeated. She's come back, and so Legacy.
MTN.
Ever, well, your girl.
Welcome back to Spill the Tea.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back on my set. And so, like you know, the topic, as I mentioned earlier, is about emotional neglect.
Yeah.
We are looking at the victims, how they are affected. How do you even tell the signs of emotional neglect, be it coming from a perpetrator or somebody who is being a victim of that. And before we go right into it, my neck piece is proudly sponsored by the Talking Beats. Let the beats do the talking. Contact them on all social media platforms and on 054 618836. All right, so Della.
Yes, my dear.
How's your week been?
This week, it's been it's been okay, but a little,
Hey, Della, I said yes, my dear. I'm just here.
Oh, baby. it's just the word. You understand?
Well, are you jealous?
She has to be.
Hey, Paula, one bantam.
What do you mean?
Eh?
What do you mean?
But how can she be claiming territory in my own house?
You are an ex. You are born. Expired goods. We don't like this. This is fresh. See, this is my new darling. You understand?
You see how I've been discarded. You pray that no new person comes. In fact, I'm going to replace you with somebody new.
Hey, what do you mean? Don't bring your bad luck into this email.
But what if I bring someone new and I replace it? What will you do?
Oh,
I'll be emotionally neglected.
On that note, please take with us, what is emotional neglect?
Emotional neglect?
Yeah.
Well, it's when you decide not to look at somebody's efforts and downplay it. So, relationship, do all the goodies, do all the niceties, yet they don't mind you. You go all out and your efforts are not appreciated.
Yeah.
As a child, you study hard, go through very rough, circumstances to make great, strands in school. You come out tops, all A's. You get home and you show it to your papa or your mama, expecting, oh, well done, my son. Yeah, this one, they'll go and do a top for you and give you the egg, and they'll be like, and so it breaks you down, those kind of things. So emotional neglect is a killer. It actually has a mental effect on you later.
Disease.
Disease. Disease. Yeah. Because it's like you're not good for anything. No matter how hard you try, no matter how well you do whatever you do, you're not going to get any...
You're always invalidated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it causes you to actually live to want to always satisfy somebody.
for value, what you want to be
Yeah,
validated. You always
yes,
want
because
to
the very
prove
moment
that you are worthy.
your
Yeah.
first act of an extraordinary feat is turned down, you would probably feel, okay, maybe it's just this very one,
Yeah.
so I need to work harder.
Yeah.
Then you do more,
More,
than
It
what
motivates you.
you know. You get motivation, you work harder, only to be, turned down all over again.
I call it the emotional kidney failure.
Ajay.
That's how I call it. You know,
One day you have to go for emotional dialysis.
yeah. And then until someone is ready to listen to you or always there for you, gives you his or a kidney in replace for you to feel whole again. That's why I call it emotional kidney failure.
Oh, okay, that's a very
You
nice
understand?
term.
Me, as a person, this topic for me is a bit personal.
Oh, really?
Because of also the dynamics of me growing up,
Yeah.
right? I've never had really my parents showing up for me. My mom doesn't show up for me, not because she doesn't want to. Like she has to provide, so she's not there.
Okay.
I'm always in the someone has oversight, so I'm living with family, da 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 da.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now get this. There's a certain level of emotional support your parents will give you. Nobody will give you that support.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever relationship you have with a person. I'm not talking about child abuse here. I'm just talking about the dynamics of the relationship parents have with their children.
That one, they're most
Do you
definitely,
understand?
yeah.
So with my mom, for instance, it is not like she's neglected me,
Yeah.
and she's not deliberately not showing up for me. She's just not available. But for my father, that is where the emotional neglect comes. My father deliberately doesn't show up for me.
Okay.
Like I said from the beginning, you are not appreciated
Yeah.
for anything you do,
Yeah.
no matter how well you do it. It is not appreciated,
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't expect to be given a reward. Maybe just a pat on the back to say, oh yeah, good job or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But you don't get it.
Sometimes
It
I
gets
just
you.
want to hear,
Yeah,
well
that's all.
done. That's all.
So it gets you feeling some way. And when it does that too, it makes you actually recall.
Yes.
It breaks you down.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Really,
yes,
It
yes.
makes you recall.
Yeah.
Because now you know that, okay, whatever best I give out of myself,
Nobody
nobody's
gives a
going to say
damn.
anything.
Yeah.
Nobody
So
recognize, yeah.
you choose to whether give out your best or
Or
not.
Stay
just,
low.
or just be lackadaisical.
If
Yeah.
you're somebody who evolves out of it naturally, or your own self, you tell yourself that, look, I came into this world by myself. I don't need to please anybody.
Yeah.
That is when you get things working out for you.
Yeah.
But when you don't do that, the next thing, especially children, are even the worst
Yeah.
victims.
But
Because when they don't, as for children, yes, a child who goes to school, does well in school, and expects proper validation from maybe his dad or his mom, and doesn't get that, recalls.
but is it not the children that grow up to become wounded adults?
Yes, at the end of the day,
Yeah,
take
now
you
that
for
you can
instance.
figure
You
things
see how
out.
you have actually lived with that pain of your father's
Yeah.
neglect,
Yeah.
quote unquote, right? Having nobody to even talk to him, or nobody to talk to be able to get things working out between the two of you. It's had an effect on you as you have grown to this stage,
But
whatever the case may be.
as you
Yeah.
have reached this stage, you can work things out.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
I mean, you can still always approach your
Yeah,
dad.
Yeah.
it's
It's a
too
choice.
it's too late.
It's not too late. I believe
Not
that
really.
everybody
You can
deserves a
still-
second
because
chance.
right at this point, he may definitely know you are matured, and
Yes.
you know the kind of words you can.
Or
take
you could
action
actually
yourself.
find out exactly why he did that. But well, that's
That's
But
that's-
talking about a
But me,
child,
I'm okay. I'm okay. I
child-
found my closure, so I'm
a
okay.
child at that stage needs someone to regulate him or her.
guidance.
Need someone to train. They really need an elderly person. That's why when maybe someone dies, they don't just leave the children wayward. They give them to a guardian because they still want someone to lead them. But if at that point he or she doesn't get anyone, that's where peer pressure will come in.
Exactly.
The child will go into drug abuse. We have the teenage pregnancy. We have those are the things that emotionally pushes some kids when they are neglected into. Because when it comes to probably I'm a girl child, I don't have anyone to talk to. Even when I'm in my period, I don't have anyone because when I go to my aunties or my mom, they'll just push me out, don't mind me. I'll go and maybe a boy that likes me.
But that was, I'm just affirming what you were saying, which I said earlier, that irrespective of, acknowledging the fact that your in my case, my mother would always leave me in the company of a guardian. That's a relative, because she's not available.
Yeah.
It's not intentional. She just has to
At least
go
she lets you with someone.
Yes, but I'm saying you are just I'm just buttressing what I said earlier, that you are affirming that it will never feel or be the same.
But at least there will
because
be
you see,
kind of,
but
there's someone.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you just affirmed it, that
yes, but
you will not be able to.
Yeah, you see what she's trying to
find,
say.
Okay.
When you don't have a guidance.
You don't have anybody.
Maybe like a boy out there who just likes you, boyfriend, girlfriend.
You fall.
You go and fall because that boy gives you that kind of
you end up in
affection and attention.
End up in bad company.
Then you go and end up in teenage pregnancy. So maybe I go with my friends. There are those who only listen to me and they are into this drinking, going to a club and stuff. I feel comfortable with them because they give me that kind of
So you see them as
peace
your
of mind.
family. You see them as people who actually validate you. You get my point? And it doesn't augur well for a child growing up because the vices will be staring at them and they will be very, very hungry at grabbing them vices. You understand? But if there was guidance, there was appreciation of a child's effort or anyone's effort, even at workplace. Imagine you work so hard to please your boss and then your boss rubbishes whatever you do. It makes you feel like even quitting your job. You understand?
Yeah.
You put in all your best. You bring in so much money into the company, but then it's like promotion comes, you are neglected. You are shoved aside. When there is any form of appraisal for you to be, given some
You are completely
recognition,
ignored.
no recognition.
You are completely ignored.
I mean, you'd feel so bad, and if you don't take time, you take your
At a point.
your whatever your expertise out of that company, or you may decide just to quit the job, even without getting another job before. It happens. I know somebody who's going through such stuff right now.
But
everything he's doing, it's like he's not being appreciated for whatever he's doing, and he wants to quit. He hasn't gotten a job, but he wants to quit. But then I've also come to believe that the core people we feel should validate us are not people we should live our lives trying to get validation from. We should, the best person to validate me is me.
Sure.
So what I tell most people is that, look.
But you are not an island, though.
Listen, let me finish. What I tell most people is this. You are a very unique human being, created in that uniqueness. There are people who can be like you. There are people who can be more than you.
But they are not you.
There are people who can be less than you. But they are not you. So nobody's validation of you should be your benchmark for living.
Even identical twins don't have the same fingerprints.
You see, so I have come to a place whereby I advise a lot that, look, in as much as validation is good, in as much as doing stuff for people to see that you are doing it right, for them to say, oh, well done, you've done a good job, or keep up the good work. Don't live for that. Just do what you can do, and
Yeah.
do it the best you can.
Yeah.
Whether you are praised or not, just do it.
Just
Kianike,
be
Kianike.
someone
There's
who has
always that one person, and that one person is always and always not in that close circle
no.
of validation or validators. There are people who are way,
There's
way
someone who
outside.
is
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Way
from
out.
afar, who is just
So that
observing.
day will come.
Yeah, who is just
We have to.
observing and
So when you encounter such a person going through such an emotional, emotional period in their life, all they need is comfort, support.
Yeah.
You understand? They don't need validation. Comfort and support. Because the validation they were seeking are not getting it. So right now you need to comfort them. You need to support them. So that
And validate themselves.
exactly.
so going forward, what are some of the signs that can tell that okay, this person is either a perpetrator of emotional neglect?
Talking about signs of knowing if someone is either a victim or a perpetrator. Let's take it in our domestic life. A mother, maybe you go to a house, you see say this child goes to wherever she wants to go, just that there is another don't care in the house. Even if you should tell the mom, oh, this your child is this, the mom doesn't care. That, especially, I won't generalize, but especially if you go to some of the sub areas in our community, example, somewhere like Choco.
Like in the slums.
Yes. Sometimes you go to some.
Before you continue, please let me make. I just want to put this disclaimer in. She used Choco as an example of what a slum is like, but she's not. It's not by being specific that is how the community is.
No.
So please, for this, we are disclaiming that it is to give an example of some of the issues that go on in our slums. Yes, Choco has estates as well.
Yeah, Choco
So,
estates.
yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
Choco
So this is not to say that Choco is a slum, but it's just to give an example of
Yeah.
how
Choco
some
estate,
slums look like. And so she's not, please, denigrating anybody or disrespecting anybody who comes from Choco. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Please
So
continue.
as I said, sometimes you can go and see that in some of the houses, the children just do whatever they like. Parents doesn't care. These kind of children, they go outside, whether they're in the form of any I don't know, how should I even put
If
it?
they are unkept.
No. If they're from any danger or anything, you just come to the auditorium, no more. In there, Charlie,
No,
Chile. And that child can be taken to prison and no one will even
Go and look for
them.
her. Go and visit.
This tells you that the people even in the house, the family members, the members emotionally neglect that child.
They are completely
They are-
detached
Yes.
from the child.
Yes,
So the child just does whatever they want to do.
Yes. And when a child who is also a victim, they intend to.
So let us be clear on that. What you said is coming from the perpetrator.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So they really don't care about whatever the child goes through, where the child goes, whether the child doesn't sleep at home, whatever. Teenage pregnancy, who they buy inform who do not even go and follow you to ask who the man is. You just live your life as you. So this kind of child, you see him or her on the street, walking about just like that, idly, not doing anything, involving with friends who are notorious on the street.
Yeah.
If she's a girl
Gangs.
child, she dresses anyhow. The dressing is very, very necessary and an example of a child who is emotionally neglected. Because if you are from a house that they really
home,
those
to be
things
precise.
a home to be precise. Sorry, thank you, baby.
Every people should get a room.
Whatever.
You're getting a house.
I showed you. We are building a home.
So if you should get a home that are very concerned about these things and your emotions, they check those things. Your outfit, where you go, your time, the kind of friends you mingle or have entanglement with. So when the child is coming from the house, sometimes you are stubborn. You better long dress and your piano short. But because of the discipline and your mother or your father or the family members, they are very like
Strict.
when you are
Not
coming
even
back,
strict
you
self,
put on your
but like,
jalabia before you
mm-hmm.
get to the house. So that child, you see that anytime he or she go to school, they are save like peace. They are at peace because when you come, they'll ask you what did you learn at school and blah blah.
It's
But a child who
interaction.
goes to school and your mom break on them, see in the class, the child don't learn. The child will be sleeping. All those things, and you give like complaints to the house, and they don't do anything about it. You should know that they are really not concerned about that child. So you see in their life, you see how their way of life can let you determine whether the child is emotionally supported, physically, mentally, psychologically, socially supported or not. Yeah, so we
Okay.
have to study those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Della, take it from there, and then
So,
tell us what are some of the healing process, and then you wrap it up.
like Legacy was saying,
Mm.
you go through all that as a child, neglect, or as a spouse,
Mm.
neglect, or as a, how do you call it? Yeah,
Mm.
for children,
Whether
when they grow
employee
older,
or
when they grow
anything.
older, they tend to be heartless because they were not shown love.
Yeah.
They were not shown any care.
Inconsiderate.
Then they become
They were
gangsters.
invalidated.
So you become
So they become perpetrators
selfish.
themselves.
And
So
gangsters.
when you do something nice, to them, nothing is nice
They
before
become
them.
nonchalant.
Yeah, they don't care about all they care is okay. I said do this work. I don't care whether you did it to. All I just say do it, and they're
You
gone.
see, before you continue, there's this documentary that I always watch, Deadly Women.
No, I've not seen that one.
Deadly Women on on Facebook, but it's about forensic science and some of the crimes that have been committed. And one thing, and also forensic science, and one thing that the profilers have been saying on the show is that abused children, and it turned out that most of people that have committed heinous crimes
Crimes were abused.
were abused
Yeah.
themselves. And abused children, most of the time, end up becoming
Abusers.
abusive.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
become abusers themselves.
Yeah.
They become abusive adults.
Yes.
So all that they know is
They
the
translate it.
experience they have.
Yes, so that's
and
all
that
they
is
know.
the only way they are able to express their
their
pain.
fe- yeah.
The Bible
Because
even
that is the
says,
only
train
way
up
they
a
know
child
how.
in a way he should grow. So
Yeah.
when you are trained, when you are trained with cutlass and
So you see why I'm
with-
leaning towards her. You don't do Christonia.
being trained with harsh words, with pain,
You grow with
you
it.
grow with it.
All right, so Della, on that note, as you're wrapping up, I want you to give us just 3 ways that we can identify who the perpetrator of emotional neglect is and who the victim is. Just in 3 words or 3 sentences.
Well, victims there you can tell from victims. Unfortunately, perpetrators you can't tell just by looking at them.
Okay. But
Unless you
any actions
experience
or
it.
deeds.
And you, unless you experience their actions
Okay.
and deeds. But with victims, you can tell. So, for instance, if you're a teacher in a class, you can tell when your student is not himself.
Number 1.
They are in class, they are quiet, they keep to themselves. You know, they probably come to school late, and their grades, if they were top shotters in class, their grades fall.
So they are withdrawn.
They are withdrawn. So with that, you can see from anybody, even with a married woman or somebody in a relationship, you can tell. You know, their lifestyle, their usual lifestyle changes. They become more like a ghost of themselves. You know, they are not able to bring themselves out the way they are. And most times, the abusers, they are perfect human beings. They live a perfect life.
Yeah.
So even if you are told that Asimesi did this, you wouldn't believe it. They're like narcissists.
Yeah.
Their world is a perfect world. They appear perfect to every single human being on this earth.
Innocent face.
Innocent face and all that. So you can't tell unless
You
you actually
experience.
experience them.
Okay.
Yeah, and one thing I also say is we as the lay people, sometimes when talking about the kids and children on the streets, when you come across any child who you see that is emotionally neglected or is in a wayward lifestyle, I think the best thing you can also do to support those child is to come closer to them and listen to them. I think that may solve many situations at hand now because probably they may not know who to approach to because they are being neglected where they are coming from. So how much more a stranger? But when we give that openness to them, we may listen to them, and if we are in a situation whereby we can also confront their guidance and resolve whatever it is, I think that would be very, very best choice and also support the child or the kid or children. Yeah.
So basically, we are all involved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said somewhere that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
So, so we are all involved, one way or the other,
Yeah.
because a child who goes to become an adult becomes an asset to the whole community.
Yeah.
And a child who goes to be a liability becomes, yes,
Becomes
a
a liability
liability
to the-
becomes a problem
Yeah.
to
The
the whole
community.
community.
Yeah.
Yes. So, all right. So, I think we've had a very fruitful conversation
Oh,
today.
shall we do?
Okay, so viewers, on that note, I'm coming to the end of another episode of Spill the Tea. As usual, my name is and will always be Queen Nita. Please join us on all our social media platforms, Phoenix Media Studios, and share your thoughts. And if you have any questions or you'd want to be part of us on Spill the Tea, kindly share with us or engage us on all our social media platforms. And for me, today again, our conversation that we had has been with Della.
No more always. Always is a part.
And also Legacy. Legacy, thank you once
Legacy.
again for joining
Yeah, the
me
sweet
in
The
the
sweet
in-
legacy.
The sweet
See,
legacy.
Legacy.
And the shoulder.
Thank you for joining me in the studio
You're most
again for the second
welcome.
time. Kindly share the name you have on your social media platforms.
Also, so on my
And-
social media platforms or handles, it's call me Miss AJ. Call me Miss AJ on all social media handles. But on Snapchat, it's Macuity_4. The letter 4, real. Macuity_for real. Yeah, let's interact.
And
Mine-
anybody
And on my business pages is Legacy Bride House and Spa. Legacy Bride House and Spa. Yeah, so on Snapchat, you interact with me, then I got you.
all right. So thank you once again, Legacy, for honoring our invitation.
We're looking pretty.
Thank you.
Like, I
So
like
are
your voice.
you.
Looks
Thank
sexy.
you.
Oh my God.
Really?
I like your necklace too.
Thank you.
It's given.
Thanks to Dare Talking Beats for providing
I think I have
me-
to order one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you should,
yes.
you
Yeah, you
should.
should.
From
you.
My people, look, on that note, Spill the Tea will come your way again same time next week. And from myself and all my lovely people and my executive producer and the crew, we say bye. Thank you for watching this week's episode. Follow us at Phoenix Media Studios on all social media platforms.